Ooh, I get to sit in a quiet place. I'm gonna sit in my car today. Thank God I have one. And talk. Because that's what I can do, among other things. But as far as this content is concerned, I'm not a great marketer. You know, I've never really got into content creation to market. But it's something I think I gotta work on. 100%. I think being real and just speaking my mind is a great start. So I'll start there. And this is me making a choice, you know. I have to sell myself. One of my friends, he keeps saying, you should take, or, you should have a sales job. When I was young, I worked at an auto dealership. Not for very long. Not that it wasn't for me, but I didn't really like the idea of, I had a lot of options when I was young. I was subcontracting, doing piecework at like 17 years old, going into 18. And man, that paid great. It was me and my cousin. We were doing AC, and that paid so well. I mean, I was making like $2-3 grand a week, easy. Very easy, light, non-sweating 40 hours. You know what I mean? In a hot climate too, so that lets you know how easy the work was. But those opportunities are like fewer and further in between now. But when I was young, I had a lot of options, and I liked the idea of making my money and knowing I was gonna make it. And it was draw versus commission, and I didn't like that. And we had a rotation, and there was a lot of older dudes there, and so it was a Chevy dealership too. I don't know what it was, but those just weren't very popular cars then or now. But either way, it was an experience. When I was underage, I did cell phone sales, when they weren't really a thing and it was coming into its season. So that was actually a lot harder than it would be today, for sure. They kind of sell themselves today. They got that down to a science. These motherfucking phones don't last you a year if you're lucky. Maybe two. They're either outdated or you done bust a face up on them easy. So they sell themselves now. They made these things freaking, I used to power drop my phones and whatever, but I'm all over the place already. I'm a slow starter when it comes to talking, but you could come here just to listen. A real person talk about life. So it's time to choose. And my homeboy said, you need a sales job, but I've had those jobs. Those skills do translate when you're doing certain things. Like, I never got into content creation for that. I just like to talk my talk, and that went well for me until I found the focus, to be anti-bad thing. And I used to really think that was something that wasn't a thing, you know what I'm saying? But excuse the interruption, I got a notification. But the point is, it's time to choose, man. I have to sell myself to myself. Right. I had I'm gonna go out on a limb here and talk to the person that's in my situation. And the funny thing is, I just spoke to one yesterday. He told me X, Y, and Z is going on with his life, and I told him the same thing a good friend told me, like, dog, breakout. And I understand when shit's tight, it's so hard. It's much harder than it appears or sounds. Even the very low barrier to entry to trading with more money than you have. Like, think about it. There's a solution. That's why I think breakout is going to be bigger than anyone can imagine. And it's already surprised me itself. It's already gotten acquired by Kraken Exchange, 100% legit, fully backed. I read the great post by one of the team members today talking about their 3 whole quarters out of financial quarters of a year under Kraken now. And the product has improved dramatically. Like, that's just me being real. When I first started, it was 7 days a week, pay out once every 7 days, which was massive, right? You know, you could get your first one whenever you wanted to, but then after that, it was once every 7 days. Now it's every single day. Like every roadblock and mental thing that I had in my brain to say no, I was afraid because, you know, prop firms are prop firms. I've had my experience with Forex prop firms. I've worked for one, like legitimately worked for one. And then I don't know if it's for or with, we're like contractors, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, like, that was a thing of the past. And, you know, those things shut down, or because of regulation, we got kicked out of the UK branch, you know? So it was really weird, from Dodd-Frank or whatever. That really changed, like, no more offshore Forex brokers for US traders and stuff. There was a big period of that. But all the things that are in the way of someone mentally who's like, yo, you down on your luck, or you're not making enough money in life, your job or your livelihood is going backwards, or you're losing it, or whatever the case may be. All the roadblocks, the things that would make you, excuse me, need something more. It's never been a greater time. And sometimes I think a lot of the weird, bad things that happen to me happened because I needed them to happen, or I wouldn't bring myself to make a choice. I think I've been terribly selfish to my family and my kids because I resisted this path. You know what I'm saying? Knowing fully well that I possess the skills. Some people need to learn them and like gain confidence in trading and believing in themselves to execute when they trade, and not just throw away their money. You know, I have those skills. I've had them before crypto existed, and I think I was being very selfish because I had a very easy way to make money that sustained my livelihood, or the very minimal livelihood that I was comfortable with. And it made me just put all that aside. I thought it was, you know, trading is too stressful, you know, but it's all in my head. I was creating that barrier myself, until I found myself in the most unbelievably like adverse, in the moment circumstances like that. I mean, it's pretty shameful if I shared them, you know. I've only done that with a few people, just being real. So like every reason I had to do this was present, but it was for that reason and that purpose, you know. So there's someone in my situation, or was in the situation that I was in, and I'm telling them the same thing. Every barrier, like, they've just slashed the prices way cheaper than they have ever been, you know. Hopefully on the screen you'll see the turbo accounts and their statistics. It's the lowest drawdown, but they've slashed the price by 50%. You're essentially paying for the drawdown. It's the same thing. If you need 2 tries, you want 6% drawdown, just try twice. You know, that's literally, you can buy 2 challenges for $200K. And I was here when, you know, an 80, 20, 100K, you know, payout every 7 days, processed within 48 hours was 800 and change, or with a 90-10 split, it was 880. And then it went over 1,000. Like, shit, you know, this is not easy for someone struggling to come up with, but I'm keeping it real with you. The real big barrier here to like making a breakout account work for you is not cheating yourself by being cheap. Don't be cheap on yourself. Like, if you have the ability to trade, go for an account size that's going to make an impact on your life and make it easier for you to make the same trade you would in a smaller account and feel really great about taking profits often and withdrawing them, you know. But I was being really super selfish, and I'm all over the place still somehow. But this is the realest stuff I could talk about. Like, you know, this is not marketing. This is like, yo, I'm talking to you like as if you were my best friend, as someone that I care about. I mean, y'all must care about me. You're listening to this shit. I see the notifications, how almost everyone that's subscribed to me is who listens to my content. We've probably known each other for years and years and years. I don't I don't want to intentionally lead anyone wrong. What I want to do is lead you to, like, I can only show you the door. You have to open it. I can lead you to water. You have to drink it. You know what I'm saying? You just got to knock and that door will open to you. You know, if you lack skills, there's plenty of resources out there. You didn't ride a bike in a day. You had to teach yourself. You had to trust yourself. Your parents couldn't teach you balance. You had to go do it yourself at the youngest age of your life, you know. You had to develop skills that would, you know, bike riding is dangerous. I know quite a few people have been seriously injured riding a bike, you know. But most people, they just don't get injured, you know what I'm saying? Unless they're doing stunts and all this nonsense. But you have to teach yourself that skill. And it's inherently dangerous. And the reward is, man, you free as a bird when you're riding down that street, when you and your homies want to go ride across town. See, like, you barely catch kids doing that now. You know what I'm saying? But you have to develop those skills. And I talked to someone that was just in a dire situation. It's like, man, they just made it so cheap. You know, if you got a little scratch, take your shot, you know. See, I had to sell myself to myself in order to just cross a bridge. And I needed to see for myself, like, yo, if I do X, Y, or Z, can I do this, and this, and just make it a thing? And I did it, you know. But I think there's always room for more. The commitment is still like 80-20. 80% committed, 20% doubt mentally. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just over that. Like there's so many things that have happened for like divine reasons, like the timing of it, the timing of bad things in the past that led me to the person who led me to that. There's no way it's an accident, you know. And being in denial, like say for example, if there was something about Breakout that made me hesitate, I was afraid they might go away one day. Kraken took care of that. I mean, I wish I didn't sleep on that shit. I went through so much negative stuff, unspeakable shit, that unnecessarily, you know what I'm saying? Because I doubted. You know, I was worried that it might not, but I could have done it the whole time, whether it was gonna go away or not. But in my mind, that's a legitimate thought. I was concerned that I might have a bad week and I can't depend on it, you know. They've made that so easy. You can have a bad day, bounce back the next. I literally did that all week. Made a payout every fucking day, you know. Man, that shit's so freeing. And I know in my heart, in my mind, when I look in my children's faces, I gotta have that. I need more of that because my presence is valuable to them, you know. And going and working 12, 14, 16, 18-hour days, sometimes longer, 7 days a week, that shit is out because it's just not worth it. Even if, like, you can work as hard as you want, there's a ceiling to all that shit. On all levels, you know. Who the fuck wants to work 80 plus hours a week? Nobody, you know. I have children. They need to see my face. I need to see them, you know. I'm not getting any younger. I owe them every moment I can give them. You know, I owe them that every moment we can get is not just us surviving or living through a little hellscape, you know, that it's a great, wholesome, safe, like nurturing kind of environment for them. And I'm even present as a bonus as opposed to always gone, you know. That's deep shit. And Breakout has given people this opportunity. There's never been a product like this. We've always had prop firms. They've always fucked around and found a reason to either scam you, disappear, deny your payouts. I literally had this happen before I got this Breakout account. I got a small ass Breakout prop account, $5K at some other firm. I'm not gonna name and shame them. It's irrelevant. These motherfuckers, you know, it was a small account and I'm in fucking desperation mode. So I'm trading that bitch like the win. So I make the payouts and I prayed to God for the payouts, right? And then when I got them, I'm going, okay, yes, I got it. I fucking traded my ass off, thank God, right? boom, I go to process the withdrawal. They got to review the trades, and boom, what happens? They're not having it. Breakout does not do anything like that. They said they didn't like the way I was YOLOing. And not YOLOing, but like when I'm in a trade and I have free capital and I'm confident in my trade, bro, I'm finna push that shit in. That's what you gotta do. You add to good trades, not losers. They would have been happy to see me add to a loser. No. I'm up. We got extra equity. I'm pushing that in. Breakout loves if you do that. They love if you trade however the fuck you want to trade. And they're going to find no reason to deny you a payout. And that's been tested thoroughly for me, you know. And so this person I was like talking to, I was trying to point him in that direction. And, you know, this is more for me on a personal level. This is like, I got to be that guy now. That guy that people were for me, that, like, you know, they're in my corner. And I'm like, shit, I'm still off sides here. I'm out of position. I can't be that angel God sent for the people that's looking at me like, you know, they trust me to speak to me and speak their life and circumstance to me. And it's like, fuck, you know, I have great friends like this. I've had them and I have them now, thankfully. And I'm still off sides. You know, it ain't enough. So I need to go bigger. You know, I can't just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just can't be the ceiling. It has to be, you know, the ground floor. Like, we're just getting started, you know, and this is a great place for everybody to start, you know. But that's what's on my mind today. Just talking about life. So I got to convince my friend that I'm fully committed now, because I do need him to put me in position. So I'm going to do that. And that's where all that sales conversation, part of my thought process, came in. Because it is time to choose. It was time to choose 2 years ago, and I chose wrong. And I paid for it dearly. I watched this opportunity go by, but I stayed in the Discord, the breakout Discord. I kept looking. Everyone's getting payouts. The product's just improving. Oh shit, cracking. I'm like, fuck, I wish I knew that. But how could you know? You know what I'm saying? I wish I knew that it was going to be this fucking good in the end, because my life would be dramatically different, without question. And so now I have the choice and the freedom today to choose better. Not just for myself, for my little loved ones, my wife of like 2 fucking decades now, 20th anniversary year. Went through the fucking shit for like 2 years now. And longer, but really intense fuck shit for the last 2 years. Easy. Beautiful, faithful woman. You know, 20 fucking years, you know what I mean? I owe this shit to her and to them and to the friends. The friends getting inundated by our friends who still out there and haven't chosen yet. You know, I need to build myself up to show them what's possible and that they can do this shit too, because that's what we're all here to do. My friend is reaching down here, trying to pull me up, knowing full well that I have the ability, but I keep acting like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And fuck that shit. You gotta stop. You gotta make better choices. You're afraid. See, I was really into my comfortable livelihood, and it worked until it stopped working, and we're all about to just face this upheaval of industry, economy, and AI taking your jobs, and replacement, and, you know, no jobs in their place. There may be jobs, but they're all gonna be shitty, you know? It's not gonna be room for everybody, you know? Ring around the rosy musical chairs. So that's the end of today's episode. I had to work myself up and speak to myself outside of the presence of my families, because I got a conversation to have that I'm sure the recipient doesn't want to have, but he's going to be happy to have it because he knows I'm there now. You know, I'm there. I needed to just see, and now I see, and I have to go to the next level. There's no time to waste. Everything's going wrong. We can make it all go right, and I can affect and have that effect on many other people around me who need to go through a similar process. Take your shot at breakout. Or don't. Watch me do it. Watch me continue to do it. Watch me continue to post the payouts. Watch me continue to show that the product is great. I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, I literally had a week with breakout that really made the way I went about making money feel like a serious, I created a living hell for myself by comparison. That shit's out, man. So anyways, man, I'm glad y'all here and listening. Go to breakoutprop.com. I'll leave the link in the description, the pinned comment, whatever. Use the code 1167, all caps. When you sign up, you get a bigger discount than the price slashes they already made. Hop in my Discord. I don't care if it's your first time, if you're an average trader, if you're a great trader. I post trades. I'm not perfect, but I'm, hey man, I get it done. And I've had a lot of paying members in the past, and I'm already down that path again. You know what I'm saying? And the purpose of that Discord is to help you. If you have questions about breakup and you sign up under me, I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to help you in whatever way I can. It's going to take that person to person, one to each one. It's a great opportunity. It literally is, capping your risk to a couple $100. Take your fucking shot, and you very well may change your life. I mean, it changed my week. The week that I just had compared to the weeks I've been having, the 104 weeks before it, are night and day, man. It's like, yo, I could do this every day. Like, I thought I put a lot of things in between me and doing this. Stress. I used to think it was too stressful. My kids are distracting me and blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling you, I was in the worst circumstances. And the good Lord put me in them so he could show me that all that shit was in my head. Because, see, I've had the most extraordinary trading results with my kids in my face in the worst possible circumstances you could imagine. That you can only imagine, hopefully. But I had to go through them, and so did they. And through that, I found the strength to just like, yo, I have to do this. And I did it several times. And I don't want to do that shit no more. I'm happy to sit, with them right in my face, doing whatever I need to do. So that's what I found out, and that's what last week did for me. Last week being the week that I made more money than I would say more, it's comparable, than had I gone to do the normal things I was doing for work for the last 20 years of my life, no comparison. And the upside is, there's no limit to the upside. I'm seeing massive payouts and massive potential. I mean, I missed so many trades. I didn't get the full lick that I was into my trades for. You know what I'm saying? And I still had a great week. And none of it went excellent by my own standards in comparison, So, yeah, like I said, that Discord is open for anyone who uses my link. That's just to help you. It is a paid Discord, but if you are signed up under Breakout with me, under any account size, just hop in there for free. I'll be able to see. You can tell me such and such, and your little last 4 of your account digits or whatever the fuck, and then you can hop in there, and then we'll be just some trading bros, So I hope your day is going well and getting better, and yeah, I'm gonna go say hi to my kids, and yeah, man, I hope to see you there. Especially if we're cool and we're close, man. I hope you get the experience of something like light a fire, and you get a little experience and a taste of what trading can be like. Sure, it's stressful. So is everything else you do. Sure, it's a risk. So is everything else you do. I don't want to hear that shit. I'm telling you, I told myself the same things and I denied myself a really great existence for just about 7 days. All right, I'm out.